In the heart of France, during one of the most unpredictable tournaments in European football history, something happened off camera, something whispered between two childhood friends, both draped in the red of Portugal. One was the captain, a global icon. The other, a gifted maverick with flair and fire. As the world watched Cristiano Ronaldo limping off the pitch in the Euro 2016 final, few noticed the brief exchange he had with Ricardo Quaresma on the sidelines. It lasted seconds. No microphones. No press. Just a look, a few words, and something shifted. Portugal went on to defy the odds and lift their first ever European trophy. But what was said in that moment? What fire was lit between the two? And could that secret conversation have changed the course of football history? Euro 2016 was unlike any other European championship before it. For the first time in the tournament's history, 24 teams competed instead of 16, creating more opportunities and more chaos. Hosted in France, it promised drama, passion, and unpredictability, and it delivered on all fronts. Portugal entered the competition with talent but little fanfare. They were not seen as favorites. Critics questioned their reliance on Cristiano Ronaldo and pointed out the lack of consistency in their performances. The group stage confirmed the doubts. Portugal drew all three of their matches against Iceland, Austria, and Hungary. They scraped through to the knockout phase as one of the best third-place teams, raising eyebrows more than expectations. But from the round of 16 onward, Portugal's journey became one of grit over glamour. They edged past Croatia 1-0 in extra time with a late strike from Ricardo Quaresma. Against Poland in the quarterfinals, they held on through penalties, where young sensation Renato Sanchez made headlines. Then came the semi-final clash with tournament darlings Wales. This time, Portugal looked dominant. Ronaldo's towering header and Nani's finish sealed a 2-0 win, sending them to their first major final since Euro 2004. Meanwhile, France, the host nation, had gathered momentum with Antoine Griezmann dazzling up front. With home support and historical weight behind them, they were clear favorites to win the final at the Stade de France. Portugal's run had been steady but unspectacular until that final. And it was there, under the bright lights and crushing pressure, that a hidden conversation between two friends would spark an unexpected shift. Before the nation celebrated, before history was made, something quietly powerful happened between CR7 and Quaresma just outside the public eye. Before they were national icons, before the spotlight and silverware, Cristiano Ronaldo and Ricardo Quaresma were just two kids from Portugal with big dreams and magic in their boots. Born just months apart in 1984, both rose through the youth ranks of Portuguese football, Quaresma at Sporting CP, Ronaldo at the same club shortly after. Their friendship began in the dressing rooms of Lisbon and grew through shared ambition, mutual respect, and a brotherly bond forged in pressure and passion. Cristiano Ronaldo, famously known as CR7, became the face of modern football, relentless, disciplined, and obsessed with greatness. His rise from the island of Madeira to Manchester United, Real Madrid, and eventually global superstardom is legendary. He is the symbol of focus, sacrifice, and success through sheer will. Quaresma, on the other hand, was raw artistry. Nicknamed Harry Potter by fans for his magical skills, he was a master of the trivela, a swerving outside foot shot or pass that became his signature. But his career was a roller coaster, flashes of brilliance at clubs like Porto and Inter Milan, but also periods of inconsistency and missed potential. If Ronaldo was a machine built for winning, Quaresma was the street footballer, unpredictable, emotional, and unforgettable. Despite their different paths, their bond remained strong. On the pitch, their chemistry was electric. Ronaldo trusted Quaresma to deliver creativity when he needed support, and Quaresma respected Ronaldo's leadership and competitive edge. Off the pitch, they shared laughs, memories, and a quiet understanding of what it meant to carry the hopes of a nation. By the time Euro 2016 arrived, both were veterans. For Ronaldo, it was a shot at finally winning a major trophy with Portugal. For Quaresma, it was redemption, a chance to prove that he still had magic left. But no one could have predicted how intertwined their destinies would become on that fateful night in Paris, or how one short conversation would define it all. Portugal's path to the Euro 2016 final was anything but smooth. The team struggled for rhythm, often criticized for playing cautious, defensive football. The weight of expectations sat heavily on their shoulders, especially on Ronaldo, who was expected to lead, inspire, and deliver in every game. After barely making it out of the group stage with 3 draws, Portugal found themselves against a strong Croatian side in the round of 16. The match was tense and uneventful until extra time. In the 117th minute, a quick counterattack led to a Ronaldo shot parried by the goalkeeper, and there was Quaresma, perfectly positioned to head in the rebound. It was ugly. It was scrappy. But it was everything Portugal needed. That moment reignited belief. In the quarterfinals, the pressure mounted. Poland scored early, but Portugal equalized through the breakout star, Renato Sanchez. After a grueling battle and a penalty shootout, Portugal advanced again, thanks in part to Ronaldo's leadership and Quaresma's cold-blooded penalty finish. Against Wales in the semi-finals, Ronaldo rose to the occasion, literally. His towering header gave Portugal the lead, and just minutes later, he assisted Nani for the second. Confidence returned. Destiny felt within reach. Portugal had made it to the final. Then came the night of July 10, 2016, Portugal vs France, in front of over 75,000 fans at the Stade de France. The pressure was suffocating. Early in the match, disaster struck. Dimitri Payet collided with Ronaldo, who fell to the ground clutching his knee. He tried to play on but collapsed again, this time in tears. The dream seemed to be slipping away. As Ronaldo was carried off in the 25th minute, all eyes were on him. Cameras followed every movement, every grimace of pain. But away from the camera's full focus, in the quiet moments near the touchline, he whispered something to Ricardo Quaresma. A hand on his shoulder. A look in his eyes. Something important was said, something that shifted the energy. No one knew it at the time, but that brief, intense exchange between the two friends would mark the beginning of a turning point, an emotional spark that would ripple through the rest of the match. The 25th minute of the Euro 2016 final. Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal's leader, their heartbeat, their talisman, had just collapsed on the turf for the second time. A muff, strangely symbolic, landed on his tear-streaked face as he lay there. Cameras zoomed in on his anguish, his body refusing to cooperate on the biggest night of his international career. As medics signaled for a substitution, and the captain's armband passed from his arm to Nani's, Ronaldo limped off the pitch. But before heading to the locker room, he made a brief stop at the Portuguese bench, where Ricardo Quaresma stood, already warming up, already sensing that the burden might soon shift to him. There, in a moment drowned out by 75,000 roaring fans and millions watching around the world, a conversation happened. There is no official transcript. No microphone picked up the words. But players, journalists, and body language experts have pieced together fragments from interviews and camera angles. And what we believe was said changed everything. Ronaldo said, "Ricky, it's on you now. I can't do this anymore." Quaresma responded saying, "What? No. Don't say that. You'll come back. You always come back." Ronaldo, "No. My leg's gone. But listen to me. You have to fight like hell. For me. For all of us." He holds Quaresma's gaze for a moment. The look in his eyes is part pain, part command. "Ronaldo. You've waited your whole life for this. You belong here. This is your moment now." Quaresma, quietly, "I won't let you down." Ronaldo, with intensity, "You never have. Now go be the magician." That moment wasn't just a motivational chat. It was the passing of a torch. Ronaldo, stripped of his power by injury, did what only true leaders do, he empowered another. Not just anyone, but the one person who had shared his roots, his doubts, and his journey. The one man who, like him, had been told too often that he wasn't enough. Quaresma later admitted in interviews that Ronaldo's words gave him goosebumps. He said he had never seen CR7 look so vulnerable, yet so commanding. "He looked at me not as a teammate, but as a brother," Quaresma once said. "He needed me, and I couldn't walk away from that." From that moment forward, Quaresma played like a man possessed, not flashy, not selfish, but focused and fiercely committed. He chased every ball. He tracked back. He dug deep. And even as extra time wore on, and Portugal searched for answers, you could see Ronaldo, now bandaged and limping, coaching, yelling, urging from the sidelines. He became a second manager. But he also never took his eyes off Quaresma. It wasn't just tactical, it was emotional. Their exchange had activated something deeper, a belief between two old friends that this was their story, written over 2 decades of sweat and scars, and that it wasn't finished yet. We often talk about tactics and technique in football. But sometimes, history turns on a sentence. A glance. A secret conversation. That night, Portugal didn't just win because of a goal from Eder or a brilliant save by Rui Patricio. They won because of a fire that was quietly lit between CR7 and Quaresma on the sidelines, where the real final, perhaps, began. In that brief, emotional exchange between Ronaldo and Quaresma, far more was at stake than just tactics or substitutions. It was about identity, legacy, and the heart of a nation. For Cristiano Ronaldo, Euro 2016 was more than just another tournament. It was personal. He had tasted heartbreak before, in the final of Euro 2004 on home soil, when a young and tearful Ronaldo watched Greece lift the trophy. Ever since, international success had eluded him. This final was his chance to complete the story, to win not just for himself, but for Portugal. To go down in history not just as one of the greatest players ever, but as a national hero who delivered when it mattered most. But fate had other plans. His injury in the first half was devastating. For most players, being forced off in a final would mean their night was over. But Ronaldo refused to disappear. Even in pain, he chose to lead, from the bench, from the heart, and through words that would shape the spirit of the team. For Quaresma, the stakes were different, but just as intense. He had always lived in Ronaldo's shadow, similar beginnings, similar potential, but a very different journey. He had been called inconsistent, undisciplined, even a wasted talent. Euro 2016 was his shot at rewriting that narrative, and now, his injured friend was asking him to step up, not just as a player, but as a leader. This moment also held the emotional balance of the entire squad. With Ronaldo off the field, fear and uncertainty threatened to creep in. Would the team fall apart without its captain? Or would they rise? The team looked to Ronaldo, and he, in turn, looked to Quaresma. It was a passing of responsibility, but also of trust. It meant, I believe in you. Now make them believe too. This was more than football. It was about redemption. About brotherhood. About a team uniting under pressure. In that moment, what was at stake wasn't just a title, but history, healing, and a legacy that would echo through generations. As Cristiano Ronaldo sat injured on the sidelines, a transformation took place, not just in him, but across the entire Portuguese squad. With his leg wrapped and his face still marked by pain, he stood, barked instructions, and roared like a coach possessed. But beneath the surface, something deeper had taken root. The emotional charge from his secret exchange with Quaresma had set off a chain reaction. Ricardo Quaresma, known for his flair and unpredictability, played with an entirely different energy after that moment. He wasn't trying to impress or entertain, he was fighting for something bigger than himself. Every run, every challenge, every pass was driven by purpose. The weight of expectation, once a burden, became fuel. He became a silent leader on the pitch, echoing Ronaldo's passion through action. The team, too, felt the shift. They had just lost their captain, their star, their guiding light, but they hadn't lost their spirit. Seeing Ronaldo refuse to sit still, refuse to give up, inspired everyone. Pepe played through pain. Nani fought for every inch. João Mario, Adrian Silva, and William Carvalho battled tirelessly in midfield. The defense, anchored by Rui Patricio in goal, held strong against a relentless French attack. And then, in extra time, the breakthrough came, not from Quaresma, not from Nani, not even from Ronaldo, but from Eder, the striker few believed in. He took the ball, held off his marker, and unleashed a thunderous shot from distance. It flew past Loris and into the net. 1-0. As the stadium erupted, Ronaldo collapsed again, but this time in joy. He had given his final words to his teammates, and they had responded. His tears of pain had turned into tears of triumph. Quaresma ran to the huddle, arms raised. His face said it all: they had done it, for Ronaldo, for each other, for Portugal. That secret conversation, born in pain and whispered on the sidelines, had sparked belief in places no tactics ever could. It became the emotional glue that held the team together when everything seemed to fall apart. And when the final whistle blew, Portugal were not just champions, they were legends. In the days and weeks following Portugal's historic Euro 2016 victory, the world buzzed with headlines. Most focused on the fairy tale ending, Ronaldo finally lifting a major international trophy, the underdog triumph, Eder's stunning goal. But among the highlights, slow-motion replays, and sideline shots, fans began noticing a small yet powerful moment: the brief exchange between Ronaldo and Quaresma just before he left the pitch. Clips circulated online, and speculation exploded. Social media was flooded with slowed-down videos and lip-reading attempts. Fans tried to decode every gesture, every glance. What did Ronaldo say to Quaresma became a viral question. Memes appeared, some funny, some emotional, showing Ronaldo passing the torch to his longtime friend. Hashtags like #4Ronaldo and #BrothersInArms trended across Portugal and beyond. Pundits called it one of the most human moments of the tournament: two friends, battle-worn and proud, sharing a wordless understanding that transcended tactics or strategy. Commentators praised Ronaldo for leading even in pain, and Quaresma for answering the call when it mattered most. In press conferences after the final, both men were asked about it. Quaresma smiled and deflected, saying, "What's said between brothers stays between brothers." Ronaldo offered only a hint: sometimes, one moment, one word, can change everything. And perhaps that's all the world needed to know. Long after the confetti settled and the trophy was placed in Portugal's cabinet, the legacy of that night lived on, not just in statistics or medals, but in the bond between Cristiano Ronaldo and Ricardo Quaresma. For Ronaldo, Euro 2016 solidified his place not only as a footballing icon, but as a true leader. He had always been the face of Portugal, but in that final, he became its heart. His tears, his coaching from the sidelines, and most importantly, his empowering moment with Quaresma revealed a side of him few had seen. That night added depth to his legacy. He wasn't just the man who scored the most goals, he was the captain who lifted others when he couldn't lift himself. For Quaresma, it was redemption. After years of being doubted, dismissed, and overshadowed, he proved that magic could come from pain, that loyalty, humility, and heart still had a place in the modern game. That conversation wasn't just a vote of confidence from a friend, it was a validation of everything he had fought through. It reminded the world of his value, not just as a player, but as a person. Their friendship, forged in youth, had come full circle. They started as boys with dreams, walked separate paths filled with challenges, and met again at the summit of European football, not as stars competing, but as brothers united in a shared mission. In the end, their legacy wasn't only about what they won. It was about how they won together. What we can learn. Football is often measured in goals, trophies, and glory. But sometimes, the most powerful moments happen off the ball, in a quiet exchange, a look, a few words spoken in crisis. The secret conversation between Cristiano Ronaldo and Ricardo Quaresma wasn't just about tactics. It was about trust, leadership, brotherhood. It reminded us that even in the biggest games, it's the human connection that makes the difference. Ronaldo showed that true leadership isn't about always being on the field, it's about lifting others when you no longer can. Quaresma showed that belief from someone who knows you best can reignite purpose when the world doubts you. In the end, Portugal didn't just win because of skill. They won because of unity, heart, and a bond forged over decades. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real magic of football. If you liked this video and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. More awesome videos coming soon, stay tuned.